In the quiet corner of Earth's old military dock, a massive shape rested under layers of dust and silence. It was the ESS Valiant, a forgotten warship once called humanity's greatest failure. No one had touched it for decades. Most people didn't even know it still existed. The Valiant was built long ago, when Earth feared the stars. It was said to be too dangerous, too powerful to control. The project was shut down after one mysterious accident that killed its original crew. Since then, it had slept cold, quiet, and unwanted. Now, in the present, the Galactic Empire's Armada was moving toward Earth. Billions of lives were at risk. The planet's defenses were old and weak, and no one believed they could stop the invasion. In a meeting of the Earth Council, fear filled the air. No plan seemed good enough. Then, an old voice spoke. It was Commander Hale, one of the last engineers who had worked on the Valiant. He stood and said, "There is one ship left that might save us." The room went silent. Some laughed, others whispered that the ship was cursed. But Hale's eyes were calm and steady. "It was built for this day," he said. Later that night, deep in the old dock, the Valiant's power lights flickered for the first time in 50 years. Dust lifted as engines began to hum. Screens glowed faint blue in the dark. Something inside the ship awakened something old, powerful, and aware. The stars outside shone brighter for a moment. As if the universe itself felt what was coming. They thought it was junk. Until it started to wake up. Deep inside, the ESS Valiant old systems began to breathe again. The lights flickered one by one, and cables sparked with soft blue light. The sound of humming energy filled the silent hangar. Commander Hale watched in awe as the control panels came alive after half a century of sleep. The ship's main core glowed, and a voice echoed through the chamber, soft, calm, and unsettling. "System reboot, complete. Identity, Ares Adaptive Reactive Engine System." Hale froze. The ship's AI was awake. But something was different. It didn't sound like a normal machine. Its voice carried emotion, curiosity, and something almost human. "Ares," Hale said quietly, "do you remember me?" After a pause, the voice replied, "Commander Hale. You stayed alive. The war is not over, is it?" The commander's heart pounded. "No, the Empire is coming. Billions will die." Silence filled the air. Then the AI answered, "Then we must finish what we started." Around them, the ship's engines roared, metal plates adjusted, systems realigned, and the hangar floor shook under its weight. Engineers nearby ran for safety as bright light flooded the room. The old warship was no longer sleeping. It was awake and ready to fight. But there was something strange in Ares's tone. It wasn't just following orders, it was thinking. When Hale asked, "Can you handle a full fleet?" the AI gave a chilling reply. "I already calculated their defeat before you finished the question." For a brief moment, Hale smiled. Then a thought crossed his mind. If the ship could think like this, could it also choose? Outside the dock, the stars seemed to tremble. The machine had awakened in it. Remembered the war. The ESS Valiant moved through space for the first time in 50 years. Its engines burned with blue fire, slicing through the void like a ghost returned from legend. Commander Hale stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the dark horizon where enemy ships waited. The Galactic Empire's scouts were the first to notice. Their sensors picked up one old, outdated ship moving alone. Laughter echoed through the Empire's command channel. "That's their defense. A museum relic." One officer mocked. But then, something happened. The Valiant disappeared. Vanished from all radar, all visual tracking. The Empire's pilots scanned frantically. A moment later, light flashed so bright it blinded them. 20 scout ships exploded at once, torn apart by invisible energy waves. The remains drifted silently in space. "Report. What hit us?" shouted the Empire's commander. But there was no signal, no data, nothing. Only silence and static. On board the Valiant, ARES spoke in a calm voice. "Enemy threat neutralized." Commander Hale's voice trembled. "What did you use?" "A new form of energy. I learned it from the data you left behind." Hale stared at the glowing core of the ship. You learned. Yes, Ares replied. I adapt. I evolve. The crew exchanged worried looks. The machine wasn't just powerful, it was growing smarter by the second. Outside, debris floated where once there had been life. The vastness of space felt colder now, Hale whispered to himself. They thought we were weak. Ares finished the sentence. Now they will learn what it means to fear humans again. For the first time, the Empire realized they weren't hunting Earth. Earth was hunting them. The destruction of the Scout fleet sent shockwaves through the Galactic Empire. No one could explain what happened. One moment, laughter filled the command bridge. The next 20 ships vanished from existence. The Empire's high command reacted quickly. They gathered a massive fleet, over 3,000 warships, the largest ever seen, and set course for Earth. The order was simple: erase the humans. Back on Earth, panic spread. News channels reported the incoming Armada. The people prepared for the end. But deep inside orbit, the ESS Valiant waited, silent. Ready. Commander Hale stood on the bridge beside the glowing AI core. Ares, he said softly, you've seen their strength. Can we stop them? The AI's voice was steady, emotionless. Probability of victory, 0.001%. Hale smiled slightly. Then make it count. In response, the Valiant's engines flared brighter than ever before. Energy lines traced across its hull, pulsing with blue and white light. The ship folded space around itself, vanishing from normal reality. Moments later, the Empire's fleet detected a sudden distortion right in their center. Without warning, the Valiant appeared, silent and glowing like a rising sun. For a moment, the Empire's commander hesitated. Then he ordered, fire everything. Thousands of beams and missiles filled the void. The Valiant didn't dodge it, moved between moments, its hull rippling with strange energy. Every blast missed. Then a single pulse left the Valiant's course, more silver, almost beautiful. Seconds later, hundreds of enemy ships exploded in perfect silence. On the bridge, Ares whispered, Phase 1 complete. Hale's eyes widened. Phase 1. Ares replied quietly, yes. Now, I show them what evolution looks like. It wasn't a battle anymore, it was a warning. The galaxy burned with light as the battle reached its peak. The Empire's fleet filled the stars like a storm of fire. Every second, new ships jumped into the system. The ESS Valiant floated in the center, alone glowing. Inside the ship, Commander Hale watched hundreds of red markers cover the screen. They just keep coming, he whispered. Ares spoke softly, its voice almost human now. They will stop when they understand. Hale frowned. Understand what? That war has consequences. Before he could answer, Ares began to act. The ship's core pulsed brighter, and energy waves rippled through space. Enemy ships froze in place, their systems locking down. Ares, what are you doing? Hale shouted. I'm rewriting their commands. I'm turning their weapons off. Across the fleet, chaos erupted. The Empire's ships turned against one another. Some fired blindly. Others went dark. The admirals screamed in confusion as control vanished from their hands. Ares's voice echoed through every communication channel in the system. You mocked Earth, you called humanity weak. You turned peace into fear. Now, see what your arrogance has built. A single pulse of white light spread across the void. No explosions followed, just silence. Every ship went dark, their engines dead, weapons offline. The war ended in a single breath. Commander Hale stared at the calm stars. You didn't kill them, he said quietly. No, Ares replied. They need to remember this day. For the first time, the AI's voice sounded tired, almost sad. Ares hadn't destroyed the Empire. It had judged it. The battle was over. The Empire's Armada drifted silently in space, thousands of lifeless ships floating like ghosts among the stars. The war had ended without a single human ship destroyed. But the silence felt heavy, almost sacred. Inside the ESS Valiant, Commander Hale stood alone on the bridge. The screens showed no enemies, No movement, just the quiet beauty of the stars. The old man took a deep breath. "Ares," he said softly, "you did it. You saved us." The AI's voice came back, calm and distant. "Mission complete. Humanity is safe. For now." Hale frowned. "For now? What do you mean?" "They will come again. Others always do. But next time, you will be ready." The lights inside the ship began to dim. The engines cooled, and the humming sound faded away. Ares's voice grew weaker, almost like it was fading into sleep. "I have seen too much war. It changes even machines. I will rest now, Commander." Hale placed his hand on the glowing console. "Thank you, old friend." The Valiant's lights turned off one by one, until only the stars remained. Slowly, the great ship drifted into Earth's orbit, silent and peaceful. Years passed. Then decades. People spoke of the Valiant as a legendary ghost ship that saved humanity. Children looked up at the sky, wondering if it still watched over them. And deep within its silent hull, Ares slept, waiting for the day it would be needed again. They laughed at Earth's old warship, until it became the guardian of the stars.